All right, troops, welcome to the Actually. My name is Owen. So you may notice there is only four of us tonight. I had to fire John and Charlie because they were American and we're falling out with them. No, I'm just kidding. No, Charlie is sick. Get well soon, and John is at work. So they'll be back for our next stream in a few weeks. I'm going to go on vacation. So tonight we're going to be talking about the challenge. But first of all, I just want to mention how you may notice that the Con Air live stream from last night is gone. And that's because I deleted it because I was having a weird reaction to bronchitis medication I was on, and it made me even more of a dick than I usually am. And I was feeling this pressure in my head, and it was making me angrier and angrier. And then after the live stream, I ended up having a panic attack, and was like shaking on the floor, and I didn't know what was happening or anything else. It was really, really scary. So I apologize to everyone for being a dick last week. I promise I'll be nice this week. I just wanted to let you know that's why, and I just wanted to delete the stream because I didn't like people seeing me in that way, because I swear I'm not normally that much of an asshole. Yes, I am. But anyway, so I love you all, and thank you for coming back anyway for the
I wasn't even there for it, so
I know you missed it. It was weird. So anyway, so today I saw, before we start talking about the challenge, today I saw Captain America: Brave New World. So, and like everyone, I sort of went in with low expectations, and it's going to suck, but I thought it was actually all right. Some good fight scenes in it. Harrison Ford, I'll watch anything as Harrison Ford. Although one of my friends did bring up a point, and ever since he said it, I can't get it. It's like, J-Man, whenever you make a point, and then it gets in your head, and you're like, no, that's it, ruined. It's like I kind of, and he said the problem is Harrison Ford has just been playing the same character for several years. He's just playing this sort of gruff, gravelly, grumpy old man kind of thing. Yeah. You're like, I can't really argue with that.
He's a character actor now. Okay, wait. Did he say "get off my plane" or anything? Did he do any line?
No.
Oh, come on!
The film didn't really have any humor in it. There was a little bit. There's the guy. What's his name? Oh shit, I forgot. Is it
the new Falcon?
Yeah, the kid, and he is sort of he tries to be funny. He's kind of more annoying than funny, but anything else. But
he's Marvel funny.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I thought that this was sort of more classic MCU rather than the more recent stuff. It was almost more sort of a political thriller, but it still had like tons of action, good fight scenes, nice sense of scale. J-Man, you'll particularly love it because there's references to Eternals in it. I know a huge fan you are of Eternals.
Oh wow! Can't wait to get that. Yeah, it's like that's my Stephen Ross's Dick Tracy. If you watched our Dick Tracy stream, where it's like a 20-minute rant. It's like that's my Scottish Canadian for
I can't help. I'm Scottish. We're passionate. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know what you guys will think of it. I mean, are you fans of Sam Wilson as Captain America in the comics, or?
Well, okay, so I just reviewed Sam Wilson Captain America issue 1 today. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10 spoilers. It sucks. I'm not pissed off at Sam Wilson being Captain America in the comics, because comics are decades old, and every so often Batman's back is broken. Then this other guy comes in. Hello, I'm Azrael, and I'm going to take, and then he's Batman. He's Batman for a while, and then he leaves, and then Bruce Wayne comes back, and then maybe Dick Grayson has to be Batman for some kind of silly reason, and then he goes away, and then Batman's away somewhere else, and then someone else has to take over, and then Superman dies and comes back, and then he's electric for a while, and this is comic books. They come out every month. Like Batman has come out every month for like over 80 years. So Superman's gonna die, and then he's not in it for a bit, but when you're doing a movie and you have to pick a representation of a character to continue in a film series, you need to go with the most known basic version of that character. I don't want to see electric blue Superman in James Gunn's movie. I love Gray Hulk. Gray Hulk is my favorite. He turned gray for a while, but he was smarter, and him and Banner would try to fight each other. Yeah, originally he was gray in the first comic, and then they couldn't. The printers couldn't. It's not like today. The printing quality was shitty, right? So the color palettes weren't great, right, so they couldn't do it. But he was gray for like a long time, and Steve's just recently reread that entire run, and I like Gray Hulk. But if I'm doing a movie, it's like, look, I got to do Green Hulk. At least Green with 3 or 4 movies, then maybe just switch it up. You put great. I love the black suit Spider-Man. Again, maybe do a few of the normal Spider-Man. Like black suit came in too early, right? Maybe do a few Spider-Mans, then the black suit. Captain America should just be Steve Rogers. If you can't get him, not reschedule. What am I? Recast.
Reschedule.
Day job kicking in there.
Yeah, I know. I like Sam Wilson. I like that actor. I like Falcon.
Yeah.
Why isn't it? This should have just been Falcon. Falcon, Brave New World. I would be 100% totally cool with that. Falcon, Brave New World.
Yeah, all of the examples you gave aren't this, though, because they've normalized him as Captain America in the comics, and they've tried to make that work and work and work. I don't know how many different comic series they've relaunched and relaunched with him as Captain America, and it doesn't work. And rather than just go back to Steve Rogers, they keep trying to do this. And you go into like Walmart and there's Captain America toys, and it's the Falcon. And it's like, it's not Captain America. It's not what Jack Kirby and Joe Simon had created. So, yeah.
It's not. Jack Kirby gets screwed every damn time.
Yeah.
Every damn time. Anyway.
Yeah. So we'll continue this conversation later on because I'm enjoying all the stuff I want to discuss. But yeah, so The Challenge, starring Scott Glenn and Toshiro Mifune. I can say the name. I swear I can. But yeah, like last week I couldn't even remember the name. That's how like fried my head was. But is the movie underrated? I mean, it's sitting at like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it didn't get great reviews, sort of average reviews. And to me, I think it's awesome.
That's underrated. That's underrated for sure.
That is underrated.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Well, underrated. Well, I mean, when we're saying underrated, we're saying that, like, so they're saying it's a 5 out of 10. Is that what they're? Like,
yeah, kind of. It's like let me see on IMDb.
What is 50%? I mean, is that okay? So 100 is the best.
It's
so they're
rotten.
saying
it's rotten. You need 60% to get fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's a rotten review.
So 60% is a pass.
Yeah,
Steve?
yeah, 60% is a pass.
Yeah, there's no how is it a fail? Like, what are the failings of it?
Yeah, I know, because people don't like martial arts movies, critics, because they're kind of stuffy that way, and they look down their noses at them. They always have. It's like they look down their nose at like martial arts, horror movies, stuff like that. You know, unless a film is boring, they don't like it. But this I really like Scott Glenn. This is his first sort of big feature film debut, and he's always so great at playing these like gruff everyman type characters where he's just kind of pissed off with the world, and it's just somebody that we can all empathize with him that way, and in this he's a boxer and he's kind of down in his luck, and I just love that he's just asked to bring a sword over to Japan. Cool. 5 stars because about Japan, another 5 stars because it's got a sword, so 10 stars out of 5. There you go.
Not only that, it's like he's double crossed in 1 second, and where it's actually hid, the sword, I would never have thought to go there. No one thought to look that place for the sword when smuggled over. That was so cool. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, and the final sword fight at the end, which was put together by Steve Seagal, as he was called in the credits, or Steven Seagal was one of his earliest things. But the sword fight is like amazing. It's so intense, and it's rare when you get to see just pure emotion on the screen in a sword fight. And I just love it because it's not glamorous, it's scrappy, and it looks like 2 people genuinely fighting for their lives, and I love that in it. And I just saw Scott Glenn was great, and Toshiro Mifune was always great anyway. Whatever he was doing, always loved watching him, particularly in like Red Sun with Bronson and all that. I mean, you got that at the end of the movie where the heroes infiltrating the enemy compound. As soon as somebody has to infiltrate a compound at the end, I'm like, yes. So I love compounds being infiltrated. That's my thing. And the first half is great. It's super violent. Got some of the best decapitations you'll ever see in a film.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's really awesome. So, apparently the film turned out quite differently from what it was supposed to. Like Scott Glenn thought it was going to be more of a character piece of a father and son, things like that, and then it ended up being, oh no, actually it's just going to be like a martial arts movie. And then Shiro was like, no, just take every day. I'll show you around Japan or whatever, and enjoy that. And yes, I totally read that on IMDb.
Yes.
Like everybody else.
It's on Wikipedia.
It's on Wikipedia.
I definitely think this is a film that deserves more love. I gotta be honest with you, the Kino Lorber Blu-ray I have, they're really not in my good books right now. So I got the Blu-ray of it. It doesn't have any subtitles and it doesn't have any special features. And someone who's partially deaf, I have subtitles on for all of my movies. So whenever it's like a newish Blu-ray, there should be subtitles on it. That's pretty basic.
That's a standard.
Yeah. So that's weird, but the film itself is good enough tone, and I'm glad that it's even just on Blu-ray. But Kino, if you want to hurry up and send me my Avenging Force Blu-ray, that is as well, because that's 4 months where they lost it. So anyway, so yeah, the challenge. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think it's solid, well acted. John Frankenheimer was a great director as well.
Yes,
I did Ronin as well, and some other quality movies. So yes, exactly. So good stuff. So so over to you, Steve.
Yeah, this movie is really good. Like, it is a hidden gem for sure. Scott Glenn has the perfect mannerisms and face for the everyman. Like, he's just, you're immediately on his side when that guy's in the boxing ring punching him, and he's just taking it because he's supposed to, and then he decides not to. That's awesome, right? Like, and then I love the girl in it. I think she's really attractive. You got boob shots. That's great. Almost up for boob shots.
5 stars.
5 stars immediately. But like, I love it's an immediate double cross, but he's not really mad because he's just doing it for money anyway. He doesn't really care. And he ends up in this kick-ass compound with Toshiro Mifune. Like, that's an awesome, if I'm ever double crossed, that's how I want to end up, is in a freaking Japanese compound with Toshiro Mifune.
Infiltrate a compound, and there you
go. I will say that it did have a couple of swerves I didn't see coming, like that bald guy with the freaking he double crossed him. I didn't see that coming. I really like that guy too, so it's kind of a shame that he did that. But I love him being buried up to his neck. I always find that like a really scary thing because you can't move, and then the rat's coming at him. I'm like, oh my god, like this is terrible. He's in the rain and stuff. I like the kid. I never liked the kids, but I really liked the little boy. He was so cute, and like when he got nailed, I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. You know, I like the Japanese hating Japanese guy who's from the States. And he's just like, he hates coming to Japan, and he's like complaining. I love this scene where he's just playing a video game while he's trying to like talk.
He's a dick as well.
Yeah, when his decapitation was so
that was
deserving.
It was great.
It was so deserving, but like. When he was playing the video game, I found myself watching the video game while he was talking. I couldn't stop.
Pole position or something.
This movie is really, really good. Like, I get into whole, like, you know, Toshiro Mifune had one of those skills that he could tell you everything without saying a word. Just a look or a stare or just turning and walking. Just, you know, he did so much with just very minimal, I find, and this movie definitely had that. This movie is really good, man. I enjoyed it thoroughly watching it the second time. You know, my dad owned these. Like, oh, this is a really good movie. I'm like, oh, challenge. And then I saw it a couple of years ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's really good. And this got me a chance to revisit it. And
that's right. FK is not blocked.
No,
I blocked. No.
So yeah, The Challenge is a really underrated film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Sean?
I think this is the first time I saw it, and the only reason why I say I think is because I don't remember most of this. The only thing I do remember though is you stink, and then Scott Glenn's like, I'll kick your ass, I'll kick your ass, I'll kick everyone's ass in this compound. Because I remember at recess for a little while we all said that, and so I must have seen something from this, or maybe it wasn't something else. I don't know. I remember the you stink thing is like, I'll kick your ass, I'll kick your ass. I love that. Yeah, no, I because I don't really remember much from this. Every surprise was a surprise to me. So I didn't know that wheelchair guy was going to die immediately. I thought he was going to be like.
What shocking death that was too.
Yeah, I thought he was a kid from earlier. Is he? I don't know. like who gets stabbed.
He was the kid from the
beginning.
Yeah.
So I thought he's gonna team up with them, but he just dies.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow.
It's yeah.
Yeah, the bald guy was a surprise too because I liked him. He played that role pretty well. I like the proving yourself thing. I mean, like, I watch a million of these kinds of movies in the Shaw Brothers films, right? So it's like, like training to be the big pumped up guy and all that. Mm-hmm. Or like the way to get there. And it's like in this case, he's trying to steal the sword, but he doesn't. They could kill him, but they don't. And then he has to prove himself with that. I don't know how they shot that, if he really was buried or something.
I know, it was very well done.
Very convincing, right? So, but yeah, and what he has to go through, like he eats that one beetle or whatever, he's trying to eat the beetles. Fima would not. Actually, not Fima, sorry, what's the name of the
Pita?
Yeah, Pita. Peter would not like this movie because they also crack in half a lobster live.
Man, that whole I gotta say, like that whole dinner scene brought me back to Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones,
yeah.
It's done 2 years before that, right? But yeah,
they're all just pedophiles.
Yeah. The whole thing at the end, like that location, I don't know where the hell that is. That compound is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
like the lighting, the pin lighting and stuff like that.
I want to work there.
And when they're inside, and there's that big like arena thing. That's great, man. All that stuff is and it's so 70s, like the color scheme.
Yes, I was thinking that the whole movie
and stuff. It's awesome, man. But I feel like all of that is from a different movie in terms of because although the film is violent, it's not like all of a sudden you're like spray bulleting everybody and stuff like that. But it is cool. The whole sword fight at the end, as you said, Owen, it's intense, but like it's not really a sword fight to me because at that point they're just like throwing staplers and shit at each other, right? Like it's like there's a lamp involved, there's like paper, there's like throwing paper at each other. It's like. It's like they're so panicked. Yeah, they're so panicked. They're just like, ugh. But all the gore is like crazy. Like it wasn't expected. I thought this was going to be a more cerebral thing, but like when he cuts the guy's head in half,
that was awesome.
I don't even know you can do that. Like, yeah. And the one guy shoots him. He's like, "Oh, I'm doing my boss a favor." What an idiot. Like he knows what honor and stuff is. Like just stay back, right?
No, I don't think that he does.
No,
I don't think that guy understands. That was why that was so genius. That was what was so genius in the end.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm helping my boss, right?" Oh. It's like, no, dumbass. He's dressed in the traditional robes. He's fighting now. Like,
yeah.
Well,
I had to look up. His voice is so distinctive when he's speaking English. Yeah. It's dubbed by some other dude. But it's so like weirdly distinct. And part of it is the audio is too sweet. It's like it's a different layer than everything else, so it like really stands out. But yeah, no, this is way underrated, man. And what nobody ever talks about it. And when I look at it's one of those weird recency things in that when you look at the reviews at the time, no one liked it, and they're all like. Well, because they watch 100 movies a week or something, right? So everyone's like, "Oh, I know it's whatever." It's like, what do you mean it's whatever? Like, hop in time for 40 years in the future, and you tell me how whatever this movie is.
Like we're still talking about it.
Yeah, it's like Siskel and Ebert did a whole like all dogs episode. I got this on Wikipedia, and Siskel, I know Wikipedia whores, man. And
go do your research.
Yeah, Gene Siskel was like, he was like, you know what? I thought this is going to be some cheesy, dumb thing, but this is a really well-made movie, and he liked it. I don't know what Roger Ebert did, but like
they're weird. I've seen every video of theirs, and like sometimes they're both in sync, and then sometimes they're unexpected. Like Siskel, I would have thought, wouldn't have liked it, if I have, like versus Ebert, but sometimes because Ebert liked Return of the Swamp Thing.
He likes weird stuff like Spawn. He gave
Spawn he liked Spawn, but Siskel didn't. But Siskel loved Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
and Ebert didn't. So it's weird.
Yeah, but this movie deserves to be talked about more. I don't know what else to say. I mean, there's so many little gems like this in the 80s because they made so many of these kinds of movies. And the problem is we don't make movies like that anymore, so they end up looking like gems now.
Yeah.
And they look even better now. Like they look unabashed and unapologetic, right? You know, it's like they're just making an action movie. It's like, can you really cut a guy in half like that with no blood? No, but it's awesome.
I'll try though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, just before we go to Jay, Real Popcorn Geek has a comment here. Said, "Oh, and you might have the 2016 Blu-ray of the Challenge 23 version has subtitles, unlike a 2016. So I must have the 2016 version, and because there's nothing on it, and I think I remember they did do that issue. So yeah, that explains why it's probably cheap whenever I got it. But I didn't care. The movie was good enough, so it worked for me. Anyway, Jay.
Yeah, so I never saw this before. It's my first time watching it. I don't know how I missed this one. I'm betting that if I saw it in 1982, I'd be like, this is my favorite movie or whatever. I think, this is like super underrated because even I didn't really know about it. So, not that I'm using myself as a gauge or whatever, but like, how did I miss this? I have no idea. Toshiro Mifune, which I own many of his movies.
It's Japan.
It's Japan. It's like, it should be, but like, I like that it was just like, it's like what I call a real movie. It's just a real movie. It's like, look, let's make a cool movie. That's it. There is no agenda other than to make like a solid movie. It's taking the storylines we've seen 100 times. Oh, the sword, yeah, whatever. And then you've got the one guy saying, yeah, who cares? It's just a sword. And then you got another guy saying, no, this is our family heritage. It's important. It's like all these Shaw Brothers movies, whatever. It's always important. And it's Scott Glenn learning about the culture and all that. So we're learning with them. And I like that he had some martial arts background, but then his martial arts background kind of sucked. Like it made him good enough to win in the crappy boxing or whatever. But like once you got down to the real shit, it's like he wasn't that good at all. Right. I like that. He learns to be pumped up. That's one of the lines I like to say. But then you had the eating the weird food. And I don't think any of that really happens the way that they're showing it, but whatever. And I think a sword can cut a guy because if it's a sword made by like they fold them 1,000 times over, and I watch Forge and Fire. So folding that shit 1,000 layers is bullshit.
J-Man's also decapitated several people in his life.
So this is like super underrated. It's a bit of a fail that it's not more known. It actually is a bit sad because I was watching, like, oh man, this is actually really cool. And like now I've seen so many of these movies that it's just one of many, right? So it's like, oh yeah, American Ninja 3 Domination. Like it's like you just put it in that group or whatever, right? But I don't know what the years are. I'd have to go back and look at the years, but crap, this is like an early one to really get in on this. Like if you had saw like this was like if you had seen this in 1982, you would have been like, holy crap, like what the hell's going on? This is crazy. And that sword fight at the end was the damn best. Storming that compound was the best too. But that sword fight, and that was Steven Seagal, good job, because I thought that was one of the best sword fights I've seen. I was really into it, and you're like, oh shit. I was gonna, I can't do this because I don't have the editing equipment. I was gonna put Duel of the Fates with that. Shit, it was awesome. I like Scott Glenn. I like that he's gonna steal the sword, and then he's not going. You could tell that he's not going to, and then he comes back because he's a good guy or whatever. Ninja 3 Domination, yeah. Ninja 3 the Domination, yeah. Ninja 3 Domination, like if you had seen this, and like the problem is now you're looking at it, you're like, well, this is just one of many movies, right? But back then you'd be like, wow, this is like, and then the movies were just because now this movie is like has all these great things in it, and then everyone springboards off of that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's crazy. It's really good. I like the poster. I like that the poster is what happens. He does have the sword because like, why is he wielding the sword if he's a gaijin? He's really using the sword, and also all those guys are there. Like that is that compound or whatever. Like that does happen. Yeah, it's wicked. Ninja 3, yes, I know. It's okay. I'll forgive you in time.
In time.
In time.
Take a few weeks.
I'll need some time here to forgive you. But like, yeah. Oh man, this is so cool. And yeah, I don't know about the Blu-ray releases. There is one. which is, it says special edition. I don't know if that one's a better version than what
yeah, mine
have.
wasn't special edition. Mine doesn't even look like a slip cover or anything. And Kino stuff normally has like a slip cover, so it was just like a really basic bare bones edition. So I'll let them.
And then what was Enter the Ninja? Okay, so I want to see this. Revenge is 83, and yeah, so Enter the Ninja is 81. Yeah. Wow, so that was like really the first. But Enter the Ninja is still more fun. Like this one is like,
this is a serious movie.
This is a serious movie.
It's an adult movie. Yeah,
it's an adult movie.
It's serious, but like that ending looks more in line with like a 1984 action movie. It's like the transition. It's like after this, movies got into like all this over the top stuff. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like they springboard from this one. It's like, okay, now we're gonna make it even more crazy and have the ninjas flipping around or whatever. But this was a samurai thing, really more than like a ninja thing, right? So you had your big samurai duel at the end, and like Thing got hurt. Like, Scott Glenn picks it up, and this isn't like one of these bullshit 26 minutes early today. This is one of these bullshit Disney Star Wars things where someone picks up a lightsaber and they're good to go. He was training, and he got hit a lot. I was like, oh shit, he got it. And he got him again. I was like, oh my god! I was like, this guy's taking it. He lost a lot of hit points, man. He was like 5 hit points away from
That Kubo guy has the most punchable face. He's got the big hair that goes up like this.
That wheelchair guy throwing him out the thing was like, shit, what the heck, man? I love the decoy. So I literally was it's fun when you're watching an old movie and then you're still getting surprised, like what Sean you were saying. It's like oh shit! And Steve, you're saying, that the sword is in the thing. Like, oh, that's so good. And to see that coming. And it's like, why wouldn't it be? Like, why would he give this guy? Like, why would he give this guy a sword? He's a decoy, obviously.
Yeah.
Friggin' Road Warrior, man. They Road Warriored him. You drive the tanker. Ha! The gasoline's not in there, dumbass. I remember as a kid, I was so confused. I was like, wait, is the gas not in there? I was like, what happened?
What did they do?
What did they do? What did they do? Where's the gas? It's like, it's in the bus. Okay.
I wonder if people in the Marvel Life that were fans of this movie just got Vince casting.
I thought of that too.
Yeah.
Well, Scott Glenn was in 100 Things, and he's a natural for a character like that. So
Is there a movie called 100 Things, or was he in 100? No, I'm just. There's a movie called 100 Things starring Scott Glenn was in 100.
I'll make a movie called 100 Things so I can say that.
So you can say that he was in it.
I love how cynical his character is. So through is that he kind of just doesn't give a shit about it, and like all the way through, but then he sort of slowly understands whatever, and and it's not sort of the white savior, which I despise that term, but it's not that trope. It's like no,
he becomes one of them.
Yeah, he just becomes one of them, and that's the thing. And I like that. It's not cheesy, which is another term I hate, but it just sort of feels believable the way it is, and it feels like a believable character arc for his character to go through. You're like, oh, he wouldn't do that. I was like, no, he would. Everything he does in the movie, I believe he would do.
It's earned. That's something that screenwriters can't do today. 28, 54, old man yelling at the sky, and it's like,
say Star Wars again.
No, I don't know why they can't. Like, it's like they don't believe in the hero's journey, and the whole point of the hero's journey is you have to suck first. And then, like, he tries to chop that bamboo stick and go boom like that. Yeah. And it's like, he sucks, right? And then he has to get buried alive and stuff. And then later on, he's like whipping. He's like,
that's exactly that. I remember when I was in Taekwondo and they buried us alive on the first day.
Good times.
My mom was like, "Wait a minute, what is happening? What did they do? What happened on the first day?"
You're embarrassing me.
The crazy thing is that he leaves after all of that. He still leaves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is the crazy part. Is he's there, and like when he's buried up to his neck and he survives that, I'm like, well, he's in now. He's not leaving. He's now part of the the family. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, you people are crazy. And he runs out and he's gone.
It's the breaking point's that kid. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as anything happens to a kid, he's gone. And that really stunned me because you're conditioned to believe, okay, when he comes back after stealing the sword and they let him back in, he's got to prove himself. He's going to become a supplicant. He's not going to like run out again. He does. He leaves and he's gone for what seems to be a while.
You understand it though. Like a kid got like,
it,
and the makeup they put on that kid is crazy. It's like I think that kid's gone.
But like the crazy thing is that that's not something you would expect in this sort of movie. You would expect it to be still running through that. Okay, he's going to stay and he's going to train and he's going to become part. He's going to respect the Japanese culture. Is basically what I'm saying. He's going to become a Japanese. Like almost like part of the family, like I said.
Well, he respects Saki.
Yeah, he respects Saki, but he literally
and the girl.
Yeah, and the girl.
I respect that character more because it's not now just a stereotype where it's just like, oh yeah, he's going to be a good guy and do all this. He still is his own person. And he still has those boundaries. And I like that. I like the fact he leaves again. And this time
he's old, right? It's hard to change. Like it's hard to really change. Like you need a lot more things. There's the culture, but then also other triggers to get him to finally change or whatever.
Right.
And then he becomes the pumped up guy. I like seeing the journey of that character. Is kind of neat. I like random things too, where it's like they just randomly go to the gym. And they randomly say, "Oh, this guy beat him up, so I guess he's better. Let's use this guy as a decoy." I like that. I like when it's just like he's involved now, and he's just randomly got involved, and now he's just like going to be this pumped up guy at the end or whatever. That's neat. And then he's got the big sword, so now both swords are there. And I did lose a little bit of track as to who is the rightful. I'm just like, well, it's Toshiro Mifune, so he's obviously the rightful heir or whatever. But then that bald guy betrayed them. I like that. They thought the white guy was going to betray him, but then actually that other guy betrayed him or whatever.
Like, you son of a bitch.
I do like the no laws. It's the hunt. So no, I saw the hunted.
We should have done this as a versus.
That would have been interesting.
We'll talk about the hunted at some point in the future. Yeah.
I think this is better than the hunted, but I do like the hunted. I remember thinking the hunted was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was cool.
I haven't seen that since VHS days though.
Oh, I've got it on Blu-ray, and there's like two versions of the film. There's one like extended version, and then the theatrical version.
God, there's so many. I opened up Opera, Dario Argento. I'm like, there's like 7 discs. I'm like, movie. I wanted movie. What is it? It took me. I'm standing like an idiot. I'm like, okay, which one is the movie? I'm like, I'm just putting this in. So I ended up watching the director's cut, which I don't like. I preferred the shorter version.
Right. Here's just a random question. What movie do you all own multiple copies of? Like which movie you have the most copies of? For me, it's actually Lionheart with Van Damme. I think I have 6 or 7 different copies of that with all the different names. I've got Leon, Lionheart, AWOL, as it's called in the UK.
Wrong Bet was
Wrong Bet. That's Australian, I think it was called. Wrong Bet. I don't have that version.
Wrong Bet.
Wrong Bet.
Mine is so weird. It's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I have 4 discs of that movie because it's not meant to be. I have the DVD, and then the Universal Monster set came with it 3 times because the Wolfman, the Frankenstein monster, and Dracula all appear in that movie. So if you bought the Dracula one, you get it. You buy the Frankenstein one, you get it.
I've got the same thing. Yeah.
So I have 4 different discs of Abbott.
I've got VHS and DVD of that as well. So that's probably the most. It's like, other than that, Darkman, for some reason, I have like gazillion copies of Darkman. I have 3 DVDs of it, all with different variations on the art, and 2 VHSs for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jay, I've got tons of
was it Conan, maybe?
Conan for sure. Yeah. My VHS copies are behind me. I just keep rebuying that every time. If there's a different cover, I'll rebuy it too. But like also Army of Darkness. Those I've got like so many. I don't have Army of Darkness 4K because I'm like that movie. I don't know if that movie can be any better than it is on Blu-ray. Like it was shot on like Kmart Cinema or something. Or it's anyways, what I don't try. Sometimes I think 4K is a lie. Like I don't like. Okay, like Godfather. for sure. I got my vampires. I haven't put it in yet. I haven't put in Ghosts of Mars yet either. But sometimes I'm like, is this fake? Like I got the 4K of Jackie Brown. It doesn't. It's the same.
I was like, yeah, it looked okay, but I didn't really. There was nothing popping. Like with vampires, I really noticed it because like what I love about vampires was like there's that time in like the 80s and 90s. I call it like the Tony Scott effect, where you've got that blood red sky. And I thought that the color was really vibrant and popping in it, which I particularly was apt for this. Of course, Thomas Ian Griffith. But yeah, you mentioned actually, Jim, and at some point we should do a versus for John Carpenter's Vampires versus Ghosts of Mars, just because they both come out within a couple of weeks of each other, and I'm like, hell yeah!
It's the same poster. I didn't notice it until I put it together. Took a picture. Like, this is the same poster. It's literally the same colors, and everything.
Just
like,
the generic poster of the time.
Yeah, it's like orange background. John Carpenter. Yeah, I love that. Oh yeah, well, both movies are great. And Ghost of Mars is a remake of Assault on Precinct 13, which I absolutely love.
I've only ever seen it once, so I'm looking forward to watching the 4K. It hasn't arrived yet. I pre-ordered it, but I think I pre-ordered it from the States.
Oh,
so I'll probably get tariffs of like $1,000. I'll have to pay.
No, not if it's on Amazon. You'll be okay. No, did you guys get the keep? I got that on 4K.
I got the keep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't have a slipcover, but it's just a movie, and that's fine.
What are you gonna do?
That's a cool movie. It's kind of weird.
It's weird and cool, yeah.
Yeah, like anyway, anything else about the challenge we haven't discussed?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Jerry Goldsmith's score.
Yes.
Score, yeah.
Jerry Goldsmith
elevates it,
awesome.
like everything else he does, yeah.
Every action scene is better with Jerry Goldsmith doing the score. Yes. It was just always like super
epic.
exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally, you could say, if you were to nitpick, you could say sometimes music's a little overly exciting in some scenes, overly dramatic when it doesn't need to be, but that's movies and it makes it more awesome.
I love the location shooting at these low budget things because the extras aren't really extras. They're just kind of there.
Yeah, because you see them
they're eyeing the camera, they're looking at the when the one guy is threatening Scott Glenn, this one woman turns around like, oh, like it's great, man. I love it.
What are you looking at?
It's just like you're shopping, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it just makes it look more natural, kind of thing. Where it's like, if you're doing this in the street, this is what would happen. It's like it happens a lot.
I really noticed it in the airport. It's like in the airport, there's just people leaving a flight, and they're like, "What's going on here?" Yeah.
Well, they want to see what's going on. I'm looking around. This is like when there's a car accident or whatever. Looking to see.
I can't remember. There was a Jackie Chan film. I think it was Sammo Hung in it as well. I can't remember what it was, but like there's a big set piece like in the street, and you can see like the crowds in the street or like streets who are like watching everything that's going on. And you're just like, and you just know that they're all just watching a film being made. But that's kind of the thing you love about it, because it's a Jackie Chan movie. We haven't discussed any Jackie Chan movies actually.
No.
What's a good one to discuss in the future?
I mean, everyone talks about Rumble in the Bronx. That's our Super Cop. Those are the big famous ones.
Super Cop is maybe one of my favorites. I love that.
So That's Police Story 3.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe we'll do Rumble in the Bronx in a few weeks then. So the next one we're going to discuss, and you'll have to watch it because it's awesome. It's called Recoil with Gary Daniels. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen. Have you seen any Gary Daniels movies?
No, but I did the graphic for it, which I'll send you. I did the graphic today, so I'll send that for you. Gary Daniels. Let's take a look at it.
So it's a PM Entertainment movie, 90 minutes long, directed by Art Camacho. Opens with just a fucking awesome car chase. There's shootouts, explosions. It's just everything you want from an action movie. I love it. So that will be the one we do next. That'll be after I come back from vacation in a few weeks. So
so he did Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, Fist of the North Star.
Which I own that one. It's not Steve and I have been reading the manga, and that movie is -4 million compared to the manga. But in any case, I love the movie. It's cheesy. I love the movie, but if you read the manga, you're like, oh dear God, this movie is horrendous.
I remember Gary, I spoke to him a few years ago, and I said, is there any movie you wanted to do a sequel to? And he said he would have loved to have done a sequel to that, Fist of the North Star.
Vader's in it too, from wrestling.
Oh man.
Did you know that? Yeah, Vader's in it.
That.
Yeah. Because Vader's like a block human being. Like Vader can't clap. Like
he's trying to clap.
My favorite Vader story is
I'm sure
they sent Vader to a fat farm, right? It's like him and Yokozuna. Okay, can clap, Steve.
No, he can't. He's physically incapable.
I was saying because he's so large. I can't go. God damn, move those arms together. It's like a He-Man figure. You want the arms to
You can't do it.
Like a T-Rex with the wee arms.
T-Rex. I've got it. How do you stop a T-Rex? Give it an itch. Like,
No, like Yokozuna and Vader got sent to a fat farm by Vince McMahon, right? Because the thing was they're too big, so they wanted them to lose weight, and JR sent them to a fat farm. And it's like an intensive training regimen, right? But they kept gaining weight. And JR was like, this is impossible. How is this even like they starve you, they work you out all day. And they found out that so JR investigated somehow that the local like Wendy's or something. They teamed up and they escaped the place at night to go order like 20 cheeseburgers like almost every night. Anyway,
this is
that's just I love hearing stories like that. That makes life
what is this?
Follow us for more great stories.
Yeah, really. God. Okay, the challenge.
So actually, so Rumble and Bronx is 30, so that's a good reason to discuss that. So we'll do that after.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There we are. Fox Vengeance, that was good too. Blood Moon, yeah. So there's some good stuff. So because I know I'm going to be joining John Cross on his PM Entertainment live stream soon, so I don't want to be taking thunder from him. I'm just going to recoil and then we'll do something else. But at some point, and you guys will love Firepower if you haven't seen it. It's Gary Daniels, but the Ultimate Warrior's in it. And it's awesome, and it's got a serious twist. Nobody spoil it in the comments. You're gonna be like, oh fuck, right? So we're going to do that at some point soon. So good stuff. So also I was supposed to be doing that live stream with John about the Mechanic movies last Sunday, but it was his birthday today. In fact, happy birthday, John. But he was doing something instead, so we've had to move that. So I'll do that at some point with him whenever I come back. And if you guys are interested, you can join us. We're just going to be talking about the 3 Mechanic movies.
I've only seen the first one. Like I've only seen the Charles Bronson.
Yeah, I actually really like the first Statham one. When I was watching it, I watched all 3 of them over the past week. Resurrection I liked whenever I first saw it, and then I watched it last week, and I was like, it's okay. But there's more green screen in it, and it just looks a bit more pretend. Whereas everything is in camera in the Mechanic remake, and it's exactly how you do a remake right, where it sort of keeps the basic storyline of the original, but does some new stuff in it, and has better action scenes and whatever. But the original is of course Bronson, so yeah. But yeah, no, really good. And speaking of which, tomorrow I'm interviewing the director, the Con Air director, Simon West. I'm finally interviewing him tomorrow.
Awesome.
So that's awesome. So we're talking about his new film, Old Guy, with Christoph Waltz. So I actually watched it the other day. It was a lot of fun. Here's some blasphemy here, absolute blasphemy. If he's too old now, but if they had ever remade Die Hard, I know, but if they ever did, I would have cast Christoph Waltz as Hans Gruber. Wouldn't you be a good fan?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah,
but don't do it. Nobody do it. Don't do it. Just leave it. We don't need to
just leave it. Yeah. He's not that movie. Like for me, there's only 2 Die Hard movies. I know a lot of people like 3. 3 is like 3 is an okay movie, but for the first 2 are awesome. I don't think you I don't know. It's like some characters they can't go on. Like it's like I don't think Rambo could be anyone else at this point.
No.
I think Indiana Jones can be because it's just adventure.
It's like James Bond. Yeah.
Bond guy, he goes on many adventures. Whereas Die Hard, it's not like John McClane goes on lots of adventures. It's like he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, or wrong place at the right time, I guess, for him to save everybody. But like, you can't. Like, what's the point of remaking that, right? Like,
the problem is, J-Man, it's the family thing. So, like, which you brought up before, the reason why Indiana Jones, I think, could be is it because if it's done properly. If you think of the first 3, he's got different companions. Well, Last Crusade, a couple come back, but he's basically got different companions and it's different adventures. John McClane has a family. Bonnie Bedelia is his wife. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is his daughter. All this stuff. Like I agree with you. If you keep bringing them along, then it loses that serial idea, and then you can't really recast it, because then you have to think, how many people do I have to recast? I'm not just recasting John McClane. I have to recast all these other characters who are like satellites around that main character. Yeah, whereas if you got Indiana Jones, all you have to recast is Indiana Jones. It doesn't matter about anyone else
because they're different anyways.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis is already recast from
that is true. Yeah, because the detective, of course, was an original version of that.
Yeah, so that's fine. But I mean, like, he's not he's a franchise character as long as Bruce Willis is doing it, but he's not a franchise character outside. Like, Batman gets recast, that's it. Superman gets recast. It's like it doesn't matter. The character, it's when the character is more important than the actor. I think Bruce Willis is more important than
John McClane, and Sylvester Stallone is Rambo, and it's just that's just the way it is.
And Rocky as well.
And Rocky. Right. For sure. You cannot, Rocky.
He was Rocky,
He is Rocky, You can't redo that guy.
No,
exactly. But what about Snake Plissken? That's a tough one for me.
No, that's Kurt Russell. Like, because I remember they were going to, I think Gerard Butler was going to be doing it. He's from Scotland, but I'm like, no, I like Escape from New York and even Escape from LA. I love them both. Kurt Russell is Snake Plissken. He was so cool. Everybody loves Kurt Russell. He made the character iconic. And these days they'd probably be like, oh, you can't have an eye patch because that's bad to people with one eye. Like, Cyclops will get upset by it.
I think that's what killed the Rock remake of Big Trouble in Little China. Because that was supposed to be a thing, and I guess now they're like, oh, it's appropriation. Like, good, just stay that way.
Enough movies, Rock. You don't need to do anything.
I certainly don't want him in Big Trouble in Little China. Shouldn't even be remade at all. It's one standalone movie, and I agree. Escape from New York, like Kurt Russell is Snake Plissken, so just leave it. I wouldn't mind a third one to complete it and have 3
Escape from
whatever they wanted to do. And that's it, and then don't have any more. But Indiana Jones is a serial character. He can continue on forever. James Bond continues on forever. Batman, all those guys.
Yeah, I would have been quite happy to have another actor play Indiana Jones. I know a lot of people were saying Chris Pratt. When I saw it, I thought, but I know he's another overused actor. I was like, can we have someone who's not named Chris or Ryan? It's just like, that's all Hollywood has, the conveyor belt of Chris's and Ryans. And I was like, do we have anybody else with a different name? Like Chad Michael Collins should be like a huge star. He should be more stuff. He's from the Sniper movies. He's awesome. But yeah. Anyway, so the challenge. Anything else? I don't know. I mean, we kind of all agreed.
That's what. We need. There wasn't enough like infighting or whatever to make it.
I mean, this one was a slam dunk, especially if we're going through the underrated. I mean, it is definitely an underrated movie. I can't see anyone walking away from this hating this movie.
No,
or being polarizing in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, if you're walking into it knowing what it is, like if you look at my whole thing is they did this with Night of the Demons. It's like you looked at this poster to do the challenge, and when you said we're gonna do the challenge, I looked at the poster. I was like, oh yeah, I know this movie, Scott Glenn. I never saw it, and I was like, as soon as I saw that poster, I'm like, yeah, this will be cool. And then you watch, you're like, yep, this is cool. It's like Night of the Demons. You see the demon face girl Angela. She's holding up the invitation to come to her party, and it's gonna be. And you're like, you're either in or not. Like. My like my wife's not going to want to watch Night of the Demons. She'll see the poster and be like, no. But if you see the poster and you're like, hey, that looks cool, you're going to like, I can't see anyone's looking at that poster and say, oh, the challenge, oh, this seems cool. And then walking out saying it sucks. Like Octagon. There's a few of these movies where it's like you see the poster and you're like, oh yeah, that'll be cool. And then it is cool, right? Night of the Demons is awesome. Yeah. The remake can suck it, I agree. Hey, Joe Doug.
I saw the remake. Yeah.
I never saw the remake, but I have zero. I mean, there's 3 awesome movies already. Why do we need another?
I say, eat a bowl of fuck. I came here to party. Like, I love that one. Like, what's that even? What is a bowl of fuck?
You start saying that at work from now on.
I like the Greek salad better for having a bowl. Like that's from Day of the Dead. It's like you're feeding me a bowl of Greek salad. It's like, okay, why is there I like when there's a random attack on food. Like, what's wrong with Greek salad? I mean, why is that a negative thing? I like Greek salad. Oh, Unnameable. Check that out. Oh, I love those movies. Yes, I definitely like Unnameable.
Okay, I actually don't know what they are. What are they?
It's horror. I just got I have Unnameable 1 on either Blu-ray or 4K or whatever came out. Unnameable 2 I had on VHS, and I was like, well, I've upgraded this movie so I can get rid of it now. And then I looked, I was like, I don't have Unnameable 2 on, so I got rid of something I didn't on anything.
Yeah.
I've done that before. Yeah.
So now I need, that's why you see this wrist here that's been slit. I'm like, no idea.
Unnameable 2.
Unnameable 2. It's not as good as one, but they're both great. Google it. The Creature Woman is wicked.
Okay.
But Unnameable is good.
Yeah. How many times, right, John? I hope you watch this, John Jerva. How many times do you think John saw the challenge in the cinema?
47.
I'm going to say
I could do John's review. I love this movie. I saw it in theaters. And I loved it. And I watch it once a year. And and it was right before I took my karate lessons and whatever. So it's like I'll do.
I beat Scott Glenn in a fight.
And it's like.
We're just kidding, John. We love you.
Oh no, Charlie Posse. Charlie. I was about to go to Charlie, and then Charlie came on in. Someone else could do Charlie's review.
John's on the theaters.
No, I'm telling you.
Charlie's
I love that.
Charlie's view. This movie was awesome. This motherfucker cut down these motherfuckers, then this motherfucker did that. Thanks, Charlie.
Put the mic over, and then it's got to be a little lower because it's like his seat is lower. I always sit up. Can you sit up a bit? It's like why are you so low? Yeah, it's like Charlie's like always low. It's like this. It's like,
oh boy. You wait for one night, and all of a sudden you get trashed.
We trash him whenever he's even here.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, Charlie, you gotta do something where you sink in your chair while you're talking. You have to do that.
Yeah, he's so low all the time. I don't know why he's so low. It's like,
Maybe he's just sad.
Are you a fan of Motorhead? Of course, everyone likes Motorhead.
Yeah.
They did the Hellraiser threesome. Hellraiser.
Not a great movie, but I love it anyway. Hellraiser 3. I mean, I can enjoy all the Hellraiser movies. Oh, did you hear that the remake is coming out in 4K?
Oh, I'll get it.
To get it. Really? I got it on DVD when I was in the UK, and then I gave Amanda my region-free Blu-ray player, forgetting that it was my region-free Blu-ray player, and now I don't have one. So I'm like, well, shit, now I got to buy a new one. Yeah.
You see this right here? That was the Blu-ray player. This was
the He's like, I hope you appreciate that.
No, it looks like the guy's filming the Blair Witch Project or something. What is happening? It's my fault. It's like
shove the camera up your nose.
No, you know what? I like that remake. I don't know why. It's something happened, and it's I don't know. I liked it. It was weird. I don't know.
Hellraiser? Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, you see, it was hard to do a remake, right? Because it was different. It wasn't telling the same story over again. It was completely different. And I was like, okay, cool. And it can still exist in the same universe as the other movies. It's just a different pinhead. So yeah, that was cool. I love, like, the first two Hellraisers are two of my favorite movies. I was actually thinking recently, and I was like, does Hellraiser have maybe the best script in a horror movie, like in terms of just like quotable lines? Like I love it as like, don't cry, such a waste of good suffering. Just such great lines. I love Hellraiser, particularly 1 and 2. Doug Bradley is always going to be my favorite version of Pinhead.
Yeah, he is the real Pinhead, but I didn't mind this androgynous weird like, I know it's she or whatever, but like she did a good job of playing this very weird like Pinhead that you just it's like it's not really male, it's not really female, it really is. It did feel like a weird, this is the one time ever in the universe ever that this actually made sense in the movie and wasn't I mean, maybe it was for pandering, but at least it made sense in the movie where you didn't be like, oh dear, I see why they did that or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it actually kind of made sense. So
yeah, this is obviously a stupid question because I know you read it, going back to our comic book conversation at the start. So a few weeks ago, I picked up the Court of Owls saga, and it's like it's called Compact Comics, I think it's called, where it's like it's actually really cool. Although I have my glasses on, I'm like,
I can read mine. I have a hush.
Yeah.
No, everyone is saying it's small, and that's why I asked. Like everyone's like, it's great, affordable. You get the full story, but it's small.
Yeah. So I mean, I read it as long as I have like the light shining on it and everything, like a floodlight on it. But Yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm only like on page like I don't know 20 or 30 pages in, but so far loving it. And
Cool.
I've heard that they might be the villains in the Batman 2. And
Yeah.
If that was the case, I feel like that would be more believable having them in that universe. I think you could do a cool version of that rather than I don't want to see Clayface or Mr. Freeze done in a realistic fashion. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want that in full comic book goodness. Stop trying to deny that it's a comic book. Yeah.
Court of Owls was really the only good thing to come out of New 52 that I saw.
Yep. It's a good thing that I had it all original issues and then I sold it.
Oh, really?
Well,
Sometimes
no
I
one will care about this.
So sometimes that's this one right here. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I do like such a fail thing. It's so weird. Like, and it's just.
It became more and more legendary, actually.
Yeah, because I thought this is a really good story.
I'm okay. And now it's like that's one of the great Batman stories. Like, oh
yeah,
I sold
the originals. And,
I sold the first appearance of Harley Quinn for like $30. It's like Harley Quinn, she'll never catch on.
Was it like a Batman
Now I've got 40. I have just here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Harley Quinn things right there, and at least 7 or 8 more statues in storage because I can't fit them all here. It's like, damn it! I
have an entire crate of like Batman stuff, and I have nowhere to put it. So I'm just hoping I can move someday and get a 3-bedroom apartment or house or a basement where I can put all the stuff.
This is the only Batman you need right there.
That's what you use. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have that with the red Batman one, and it's like all the original ones. It's like the hardback one, and it's like the original. Was it like 10 years or something of all of them? So it's like the origin of the Joker and all that. So it's like the real Batman, which is also in my cupboard somewhere. Anyway, I was going to say, yeah, Score House was cool. Oh, yeah, so the G20 trailer with Viola Davis, I watched it earlier. I'm sure you guys have not watched it yet now. Yeah, I'm only interested because Anthony Starr is the villain in it, so Homelander is the bad guy.
That's cool.
So I'll check it out. I don't know if I should say this on air. But I saw a comment on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, for the trailer to this movie. And please bear in mind, this is not my comment or anyone related to the action. Anybody, if anyone's going to cancel or anything else. But for G20, somebody watched the trailer and said,
"You could go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Owen."
But it just said, "This looks like DEI hard."
All right, I'm back.
Oh, that's.
I thought that was the best internet comment I've ever read.
Oh my god, that's genius.
That is awesome.
But like, I'm just doing my reviews now. Like, I don't. Yeah. The problem is like you start getting inside your head, and then you start apologizing for everything. You're just gonna because. Someone's going to be offended by something somewhere, no matter what happens. Someone's going to say, why do you have the SmackDown Women's Championship belt and not the Raw SmackDowns? Is that because you didn't like this? I don't know. That's the one that I got because it was Bayley. You can't do it like that. It's like same thing. And my comments too, sometimes you get someone's like, oh, this and that. I don't care. I'm going to post a review for Captain America. I'm going to say what I got to say. Yeah. I know Byers an action star. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I kind of got from the trailer because, like, you see her fighting this guy, and he's this fucking. He's this huge bear, and she's like, throwing him into like a stove or something. And whenever they do that, and you're just like, no, you lost me. Like if it's Captain Marvel or something, then fine. But if it's it's not a comic book, it's just a normal person. So
that's like Salt with Angelina Jolie. Like she's fighting like 250-pound guys, and she's like. Swinging like that, and she knees some guy in the face. Like, oh, like it's awful.
I like Salt though. I like that.
I mean, coming in the theater beside you is like, what the hell? Like she's like skinnier than me, and she's like,
I know, Sean. It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong occasionally. It's not a big deal. It's not. No one's gonna hold it against you.
Look at the 355.
But I'm a mark for Angelina Jolie. So like I'm just like a shell. It's like, this is a great movie. I loved it. It's like it's
movie I've ever seen.
I love the Tomb Raider movies. I bought 2 copies of the poster for part 2 just in case one gets damaged.
I have to laminate it for reasons. Actually, I would love to talk about Tomb Raider movies. We'll do like the 3 live action ones at some point.
Love them all.
Yeah.
That would be a good one to discuss. Because I just like an excuse to watch them. I watched a movie the other day. I wonder if you guys have ever heard of it. It's so obscure. It's from the 80s. It's called Scavengers.
No.
Look at it.
And it is. It's not a great movie. I've got an article ready to post on a site, and I've got it right for a remake. And it's like, it's a really cool idea. It has some great stunts in it, but it's cheap, and it's like terrible acting and music in it. But it has motorbikes driving out the back of an airplane and then parachuting onto the ground. The guy's going down a slide on a waterfall. And I was like, I want to bring back those adventure movies. Like, remember, like Jewel of the Nile, Romancing the Stone, kind of things where people going places. Yeah. I love adventure movies like that. And you just don't get them anymore, really.
No.
Is this like an Indiana Jones ripoff, like another like treasure hunter thing?
It kind of. It's not even that good. It's this guy who's like a scientist and his journalist female friend go to Africa because they have a Bible and it has a code in it, and they're trying to stop the bad guys from getting to it, and it's like Russians trying to steal it because it's codes to. I can't even remember what the codes are for. But, that's how invested I wasn't. But I was like, there are some really cool ideas here, and it's one of these things where I'm not a huge remake guy, but if the original movie had some ideas, but the execution wasn't quite there, and I thought, no, you know what, you could do this, particularly if you have someone who is like from stunt background, like maybe Chad Stahelski or something like that, and they direct it, and then you go to the stunts. Because all I was thinking of was like, I could totally picture like this would be like what the Fall Guy could have been, where it had like, you know, the great stunts and everything, but the story just wasn't that great. But I thought this was a cool idea, and I just love the idea of the motorbikes going out the back of the plane. And I thought that was a really cool set piece, and it was all really done. It was real, like proper stunts, and that's what the movie was. Because like the first half, I was like, this movie sucks, but then like the last half hour, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of awesome. But I found it on YouTube, and I watched it when I was a kid, and I couldn't remember what it was called. I knew it began with S, and I was like, what was this movie I remembered as a kid? And it took place in Africa, and it was this guy and girl, and they were like going these adventures, and it was scavengers. So I'll post that in the next few days, maybe next week. But not a great movie, but if somebody wanted to remake it, they totally could. It was just one of these obscure little movies which you come across sometimes and you just watch it. And I was like, yeah, it was all right. The potential was there. So if anyone listens, remake it and do a good job. You have my permission.
I think you find that's the way you find a lot of movies. So you just watch anything that you get. Yeah, Ms. Marvel. I have a Ms. Marvel. I like Carol Danvers. I have a Carol Danvers tattoo, so I would definitely do. I've got Ms. Marvel #1 from '77 or whatever it was.
Oh, good. We made it to an hour. Good, because I didn't think we would. So at least we talked about the challenge for like 20 minutes.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah, that was okay. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard whenever we're all sort of agreeing on it, and we all agree that it's underrated. So anyway, I enjoyed the challenge. Thought it was really good. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Pick up the Blu-ray, preferably one with like subtitles, maybe some special features, or hopefully they'll release it on 4K at some point. But yeah, enjoy. Anyone else have anything else to add about the challenge? You're thinking?
No,
I don't know. It's just neat. I like the training. I like that it's visual. Like there's visual training, so we see him cutting, and it doesn't work. That he can cut it. You're like, okay. So it's like the first one. It's like it's hard to do. I like that I like also that he's got his American mentality. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like for example, when those guys come in the forest, and then he pretends to be bad. He puts the sword to. He's like, all right, guys, stand back. Okay, we're gonna come up here and get the sword. Come up and get it. And you're like, oh, he's faking it. This is a good idea, right? Just to draw them out. Then he draws them in, kills the guy, and then they take off. I'm like, and you could see the Japanese guys are getting pissed off, and they're like, guys, hello, but they're so straight and narrow, like it's honor and all of that. It's like he's like, no, I'm lying because we're gonna get our ass out of this thing. It's like these guys have guns. They've got trained men. We're not going to win with a few guys with swords running around. I liked that because sometimes I feel like if you're watching a movie, you're like, this guy's not saying things that I would say. Like you're thinking like, just pretend you're with them. Like I think it was Cuffs. That's a great movie where he just takes the bribe. The guy's like, oh, I'll give you money. Remember, he takes the bribe, right? He's like, sure. He just takes it. You're like, what? I'm like, you took the bribe. He's like, well, yeah, I need money and all, whatever. And then the guy's like, it's like, well, shit, you got to do what I say. He's like, no. He goes, I'm protecting you, but I'm also protecting him because I have to. It's like, but we paid you. It's like, well, and that's too bad. It's like, right, why not? So, but I like what, like Scott Glenn is also thinking like an American, like I'm going to use deceit. I'm going to trick him. I'm going to draw these guys out and nail him from behind. He's not scared to use his tactics to win. That's cool. You don't see that. It's like he didn't just adopt honor all of a sudden. It's like, now I'm going to be this perfectly straight and narrow honor guy.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been believable for him because you're like, no, that's not who he is. So he still is the same character by the end. Like, yes, he's learned some and he's progressed as a human, and that is a character's journey. Do you understand that, Star Wars writers?
105.
God.
If someone killed George Lucas, can you imagine the devastation on the film industry? There'd be nothing. George Lucas like Terminator. If you go back and kill him, it's like it's over. Nothing happens. There's no Space Hunter. There's no
films end by 1983. It's like
there'd be nothing because like it probably wouldn't have as many blockbusters for a start. Because like Star Wars was really Jaws was sort of the first one.
But Star Wars kicked it in the high. And everyone greenlit movies based on that. And what would it look like if that never happened? Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another movie I love is Last Starfighter. I've another article I've got written on the site. I have 130 articles and drafts on the site ready to go. So also just for anyone who's been on either site, so the actionelite.com and the movieelite.com. So we were having some tech issues over the weekend, which are both all totally sorted now, thank God. So, and it was actually the host actually managed to fix them. I was like, wow. So, but I'm going to move to another host probably once I'm back, because you just shouldn't be having problems like that.
No, what's funny is I saw the movie we got fixed, and then I saw like article.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I shared your review of Money Heist. Although you could have done it on the Action League, to be honest. There's action on it.
I was questioning that. The problem is that the second season is more of an action thing than the first one. It's more of a crime drama. That's how it's described. So I'm like,
I mean, I know nobody's going to lose their shit about it. I mean, I post stuff where people are like, is that really action? I'm like, shut up. I'm posting it because I feel like it. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you post Citizen Kane on the Action,
then that's or like some shootouts or explosions or whatever. I'm like, that's action. If there's action scenes, then what the hell? I'll put it in, whatever. So I don't care. So.
Did you review? Did you do Captain America yet or no?
Oh yeah, I posted it earlier. I gave it 3.5.
On Action Elite?
So I shared it to my. See, I was wondering because like I shared it and then it disappeared from Facebook.
No, so I rearranged my Facebook because I just had enough of it. So I'm in the groups. So now I just go to groups to try to avoid like the other feed. Like I don't go to my normal feed. I'll just go to the group feed. I still didn't see it. And then not only that, I scrolled down because I know you saw it today. So then I actually went to Action Elite, the Facebook group. I never saw it either. See, Charlie, I'm telling you. So then I went to the Action Elite Facebook group on its own, like through its own link, and I still couldn't find it. I'll look right now.
Notice that? I don't understand it. I've posted stuff and it's like gone the next day.
I know. I don't understand it at all. Look, I'm on the.
You see, the thing is, Facebook deletes posts. That's the problem. Whenever you run an action movie website and I post a picture of like somebody holding a gun or something, then they delete it and they're like, this isn't appropriate for Facebook. And I was like, Facebook has like the worst censorship. Yeah, I mean, it's right on my main page.
I found it now. Okay, so obviously something's wrong, Owen. You can see the people who liked it are your family members.
Yeah.
Surely there must be more people who now I've liked. So. Yeah. Now so your family is having it. Maybe they have you set to come up first, or right, presumably. So like, now I liked it. Okay, now I see it.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
It's weird, but because I find that because sometimes I'll post something and be like, I really thought that the target audience would have really liked that, and then nobody likes stuff. Like I find in the group, and I may actually shut down the group at some point. I mean, Brendan said to keep it open, just to keep it open, but it's so frustrating because like I post things in there and people will just post like random shit where they review movies themselves rather than through the website. And it gets more traction, and I'm like, why don't people actually go read the stuff which I actually run the website for? Like the whole point. So I don't know. It's all the algorithm. So who knows? Maybe I need to do more negative stuff, because it's whenever you do negative stuff, for some reason, that's what brings people out, and people just love to argue with you.
Yeah.
You do the link in the comment. That was one of the tips that I was told by, I think Charlie told me that tip. That could be Charlie who told me. Somebody told me the tip of do the post, put the picture saying Captain America review, and then in the first comment, say link pinned or something, and then in the first comment, put the link. That way Facebook does. Yep. I knew Charlie. Yeah, no, someone told me, because I don't really understand how this works. Charlie told me that was one of the tips that he does, where then Facebook won't delete it because it's just like an information thing, and then you comment on your own post and put the link to what you're talking about there.
Oh, okay.
It's I mean, why? No, this is nonsense.
I shouldn't have to, but the thing is that they deliberately don't do it. Linking on Facebook, don't want you to. So, yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm like, well, go fuck yourself. That's the whole point in your shitty like social media app.
Yeah.
And that's why it's dying, because like I go onto Facebook and I see like 5 sponsored posts in a row.
Yes.
Like, where are my friends? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, why am I only seeing like advertising and sponsored posts? So it's really annoying. I do hate Facebook.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, Charlie told me. Yeah. So try that maybe for a few. Do like maybe 3 or 4 posts that way. See if that helps in any way. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the challenge is underrated. It's awesome. We all like it. So if you don't have it, you should definitely pick it up and check it out, the Blu-ray or whatever. Or I'm sure it's available on streaming somewhere, but buy the physical media instead. Support that. I'm definitely much more into physical media rather than streaming, because at least once it's on your shelf, it's always going to be there. So I canceled my Netflix subscription actually last week. After I finished Breaking Bad, and I was like, well, there's nothing else. So then I canceled it, and then the final season of Cobra Kai, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, the wrestling stuff I cannot cancel.
Yeah.
And my wife only watches Netflix all the time. She just watches Japanese shows. As soon as one ends, whatever Netflix decides, she just watches the next one. She's seen, I don't know how. I didn't even know that was still around.
Yeah, I actually installed it a few weeks ago because Amanda was like, oh, you need to install Snapchat. And then I removed it. And I was like, I don't need a fucking raccoon on my head. That's basically like what the filters are. It's like, there's a raccoon on your head. There's a polar bear crawling around. I don't give a fuck about a CG animal.
Yeah, you're not a 14-year-old girl.
No, exactly. I mean, Force is stepping next Sunday. So I really am not interested. So I uninstalled that. I tried TikTok as well. And I'm like, no.
I can't do that one either.
No, and it just keeps coming up with these. But I'm like, you know, Prakash has updated his video. Who the fuck are these people? These people are. I was like, no, uninstall. So
Prakash happens to be one of my favorite. No, I don't know.
And that was literally the guy. That was his name. And I was like, I have no idea who this person is. Delete. So I just removed it. I'm an old man now. Yells.
J-Man will only post Prakash's stuff.
That's it. He's my favorite.
That's exactly it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we will finish up there. So yeah, so it'll be about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Next week, and then the week after, I'm on vacation, and then after that, we can talk Recoil with Gary Daniels. And see, even if you don't like it, come on anyway, and then that's good discussion. But I think you will like it though, because it's PM Entertainment. It delivers everything you want. And if you haven't seen PM Entertainment before, they're kind of like Canon, except with better production values. And there's nothing wrong with production values of Canon, mind you, for their action scenes or whatever. But PM Entertainment, they're all just like 90-minute scenes. Nudity, fight scenes, pretty much always open with epic car chases, and Recoil has a fantastic car chase, so I'm looking forward to talking that. So that's going to be in a few weeks anyway, once I'm back from holiday. So you guys doing anything cool in any of your channels before we go?
I might do an open mic on the weekend for Captain America Brave New World, and then we're back to our Legion streams, which is every Monday, and we're doing Batman and the Outsiders. And then in a couple of weeks, we've got Scott Tracy Griffin coming on, who's the author of a couple of Tarzan books to discuss Tarzan and the Lost City, which is the Casper Van Dien, which he knows Casper Van Dien. He wrote the foreword to one of his books, and he interviewed him before. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's not going to be any bullshit. There's not going to be any J-Man bullshit on that one, because we have Scott's a real guy. he's not here to come in. Prakash is the man. He's not here to bullshit with people, so it's going to be like legit talking. It's not going to be our usual streams where we bitch about Star Wars.
No, actually, I've never actually watched that. We're going to talk about that soon.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh, yeah,
that's a good one.
We should do the verses. That skyscraper.
Oh my god!
I guess which one's better?
What, the Rock one and that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Anna Nicole Smith's got 2 reasons why.
Exactly. 2 reasons. That's much better. Yeah. And they're damn good reasons. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us again, and we'll join you in a few weeks to talk Recall with Gary Daniels. So everyone do your homework and watch that, and that'll be a fun one. So remember, if you are watching, you are the Action Elite.